It's called Microsoft Windows for a reason, because when you launch an application or an app, I'm launching the calculator right now, the calculator shows up in what we call a window. It's just this, this space that it occupies here. It's like if I was to open the word processor, it too is in a window. And see how I can put these windows side by side, like the window of a, there's a window, see? It's like the window of a house, right? So programs can run in their own space. It's called a window. Every single window can be closed with the X. See, open it up, close it with the X. Every single window has that X, okay? The middle one will make it full screen, and when you hit that same button again, the one to the left of the X, it restores it back to where it was. And by the way, if you hover over these, they do tell you what they're for. I mean, just about any button you hover over will tell you what it's for, okay? And the minimize button, which is one of the more important ones, let's say I'm in the middle of calculating 5 times 25. If I close it, I'm going to lose that result. But if I minimize it, well, the program's still open. I can tell because there's a line underneath it at the bottom, okay? So, file manager's not open, the browser's not open, my email's not open, but as I hover over the programs that have a line underneath them, well, it shows me these little thumbnails indicating that, oh, it's still open. And that's how so you don't forget that the calculator's still open, or that document you're working on is still open, so you don't have to start from the beginning. You may have forgotten about it. If you just hover over it, it kind of shows you what's there. And if you hover over the actual thumbnail, it brings it up on the screen. See that? I'm not even clicking the mouse. I'm just moving the mouse on top of it. And now I'm moving it over this little thumbnail. And it's just a way of peeking at it without bringing it back up onto the screen. I can peek at the calculator, and if I move it over to the word processor, I can peek at that. Now if I click on it, it'll leave it in place. And if I minimize it, it'll put it back down there. And if I click on it down here on the taskbar and keep clicking it, it opens it up, it brings it up on the screen, minimizes it back down. So that's another way of doing the same thing. Click, brings it back up, click, puts it away. Closing it would actually close it, and you would lose the document if you did not save your changes, that kind of thing. And calculator, same thing. I don't want to close it because I don't want to lose what I'm currently working on, so I minimize it. Alright? Too many people don't know that stuff. Another trick for maximizing a window, instead of reaching for the button every time, this is what I do all day long, you can move these windows around by grabbing just under the top of it. It's called the title bar. You can see there's a title here, right? You can grab near the top and you can move these around. And I get tons of calls from people that accidentally move these off the screen like that, and then they think they can't close the window anymore because the X is gone. It's not gone. Once you know that you can move a window around, you know that if you don't see the X, well, maybe you need to move it back, right? A lot of people do that. I get tons of calls from people that have just moved it off the screen. And no, if you drag the corner to resize it, that doesn't bring it back. It just resizes the window. So you got to move it, learn to move these things around and understand that they all have these buttons in the upper right corner. And yes, you can actually resize any window by grabbing the edge of it. For me, I just work full screen by dragging it up to the top and pulling it back down. So you can grab the title bar, and instead of reaching for the maximize button, you can just push it up to the top and bump the mouse into the very top, and the next thing you know, it's full screen. That's kind of a shortcut or an easier way. And then you can pull it back down by grabbing the title bar again. That's one of my favorite things to do. And another neat thing that everyone should know how to do is you can bump it to the side as well. So if I keep moving this window sort of in the middle here and bump the mouse to the side, it'll go half screen. See, when I let go of it, it's half screen now. And then it wants to know if there's anything you want to put on the other side of the screen. Well, if I don't click anything and I click back in my document, it just leaves it half screen. But if I bump it over to the side, I can then click over here on whatever appears, and it'll make it half screen. So now I have the calculator over here, and I have the word processor over here. And then you can even grab the middle bar and move those around like that. You know, just an interesting way of positioning your windows, right? Personally, I'm just constantly grabbing things, maximizing them, and bringing them back down again. I'm going to close that now, and I'll close the word processor. So to review, when you click on an app, it opens in a window that you can grab by the title bar to move around. You can also resize windows by grabbing the edge or the corner. You can temporarily put them back down below by minimizing, that's the minus sign, and then click it again on the taskbar to bring it back up. Or you can just keep clicking on the bottom to bring it up and tuck it away. You can hover, you can tell what's running on the bottom because there's a line underneath it. You can hover over it to temporarily see what is up and what's there, and then you can hover over the little thumbnail to see the window pop back up on the screen. See, I'm not clicking the mouse, I'm just hovering. And then you can also hover on it and click it to bring it back up. Instead of maximizing by hitting the button here, you can just push it up to the top, and then you can also bring it back down by pulling it, and then you can also grab the title bar and push it over to the left to go half screen, and you can also grab the title bar to pull it back down again. So that is why they call it Microsoft Windows. Apps can run in a window.